This is Mediterranean chicken. The thing that I love about this is everybody says, oh, I can't make a pan sauce. I have to go to a 5-star restaurant to make it. No, you can make pan sauce at home.
And, oh.
Cash, are you going to help me out today? With the, she
sure.
loves donning the gloves, this girl. I think there was a doctor in her former life or something.
Maybe.
Really?
So, Kasha, what I want you to do, hun, is I want you to, in the thickest part of the breast, I've taken the tender off the bottom. I don't want to get my hands contaminated, but I've taken the little tender that's off the bottom. And you can do chicken sattés with that, so don't bother wasting it on here. You know that little fillet that's on the bottom? It's called a chicken tender.
Yep.
Use those for in stir fries, or use them to do chicken sattés or something. You leave them on and then they stick all out. So I just think it looks prettier. So what I want you to do is make a vertical slit, a little pocket, just with the knife, and then we're going to stuff it with some of this. Now all this is this is enough. This recipe is enough to do 4 chicken breasts. Okay. And I'm going to serve it just with a medley of whole grain rices. So there's red rice in there, there's black rice, there's wild rice, there's jasmine rice in there.
No glove, no chicken.
That's it. You got it. Okay, so just a little pocket. Now, what you want to do, and go horizontally, and make a little pocket, but don't go all the way through so that the stuffing won't come out. Yeah, that a girl. Go right in.
Très bien.
And then you can actually use the knife a little bit, like just to cut a bit more open. That a girl.
From the inside?
Yeah, yeah, and just make little cuts.
Cool.
Just don't go all the way through. So you've got your pocket. So this is roasted red pepper, just from a jar in the condiment section of the supermarket. I used a little bit of Havarti because that's what I had in the fridge. And I used a little bit of this. It's Clubhouse, or it's not Clubhouse, it's just a vegetable seasoning. And it's all encompassing. And salt is not the first ingredient, which I really like. So I put a bit of that in there. And I used a couple of tablespoons of pesto. Just whatever you find in your grocery store shelf, right?
You also use
a little bit of vegetable seasoning, roasted red peppers, and Havarti cheese. So give it a little stuff. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do is put my pan on. Now, my pan looks dirty, but that's because I sauteed off of these. So what I want to do is saute off this one, get a really good brown on, and just stuff it right in there with your fingers even, hun. So a little bit of extra virgin olive oil goes in the pan.
Hey, Chef Deb.
Yes.
So,
Christian.
Great recipe here.
Yeah.
Now, because the fridge whisperer, that fridge is talking to you.
Right.
You could probably find a lot of great stuff in your fridge that you could stuff these chicken breasts with.
Absolutely.
Spirit,
you could do calamari of olives, pitted and chopped. A bit of you could do like a Greek one with a bit of feta. Perfect. So what I'm going to get you to do now, this is where this is boneless, skinless chicken breast, right? Yep. So this would be where the skin was taken off. So that's your presentation side. So whenever you're cooking, you want your presentation side put down into your pan, because then you're going to flip it over. You're going to bake them in the oven. So all we really want to do is get some browning on there, more for show than for cooking. 20 minutes to 25 minutes in a 375 oven, and save the juices that accumulate as you're letting your protein set up, because that's going to make
20 minutes in the oven?
And depending on the size of your breast.
At how much? 300 and...
See, I know.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. So I'm just going to go in, skin side down. Nice hot pan. You want to hear that sizzle? And so all we really want to do, and again, remember when I'm telling you about shaking your pan, it's not a testosterone thing that the guys do in those open kitchens at 5-star restaurants.
What are you talking about?
It's so, your pan will, what happens is the proteins, the juices in the proteins will come out, and they'll caramelize on the bottom of your pan, and that's what gives you the lift. And then your pan's telling you to flip it over. So we're going to flip it over, and when we get some nice brown marks on it, do the other side, about 5 minutes aside, depending on the size of your protein. I can't keep on saying depending on the size of your breast.
Why not?
I don't know. I just, because my mind goes somewhere else.
Yeah, you and I both work in food, and chicken's the only thing you can get away with talking about legs, thighs, and breasts.
Yeah, I know.
True.
Especially if your name's Mary Brown, right?
That's right.
So anyway, so you see, like, I'm just kind of moving it a little bit, but really I've got it on medium heat, and I just want a nice sear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these breasts onto my counter. What we're going to do now, Cassius, I'm going to move this out of the way so there's no cross-contamination. And I've got a new clean board here. And
there we
then
go, Chef.
what I'm going to do, if you would, for me, love, is just transfer those onto there, and we're going to cut them. And we're going to serve them fanned over the rice on a plate.
How do you want this
and you just on there, hun. And then, yeah. And we can cut them in a second.
Oh, lovely breasts of chicken.
So I never do this, so I should do this and just make sure it doesn't stick.
Yeah, just make sure it doesn't stick. And of course, I forgot my tongs today, so.
But they don't need to know that because you're a chef and you're an improviser.
So there we go. So we see we got some nice brown marks on there. So that wasn't even, what, 2 minutes?
So
doesn't it smell good?
Hold on, here we go again.
Here we go. Now we're going to
bring it in.
And then push
it out to the audience.
yes.
There you go. One more time.
One more time, one
Take
more
it
time.
in.
Take it in. Oh, it's so good.
Push it out
Push
to
it
the audience. There you
Okay.
go.
Oh,
Now
it
you
smells
guys are
so
scaring me.
good.
Okay.
Now you're scaring me, she says.
This recipe is in the
This is
Fridge
what we do.
Whisperer 50 Fast and Fabulous Family Faves.
Say that fast, Deb.
Fridge Whisperer 50 Fast and Fabulous Family Faves.
50 Fast and Fabulous Family Faves.
Atta
the
girl.
guy.
Atta girl. Okay, so in the interest of time, we're going to say that this is done. Okay, so we're going to take that out,
Let's
transfer it to a baking dish, 375, for this size 20 minutes. Take it out, let it rest for 10-15 minutes before you cut into it.
Really?
Why?
So that the stuffing sets in nicely and doesn't just spread out and become
Exactly.
a big mess.
That's right. It's the same principle with your turkey at
good.
Christmas
Good
or
guess.
Thanksgiving,
You're
right?
getting good. No,
So
you're
we're going to
getting
leave
good.
that over to the side. So now we're going to create our pan sauce. So first of all, what I need to do is deglaze the pan, right? Which is getting rid of these bits on the bottom is flavor. It's not burnt parts. It's pure
right.
flavor. We're going to use the juices from the
got
chicken
it.
that rests. So we're going to put that in.
Wow.
Because that's all concentrated, right? And then don't forget, I'm doing this for 4, right? So what we're going to do now is I'm going to add a tablespoon of the
pesto that
pesto,
you use.
right?
Love it.
And there's a little bit of oil in that too. I'm just going to try to take that off. So you're going to get some nice color with that. If you wanted to add some more of the vegetable seasoning, you could go ahead and do that.
Little dabble do.
So I'm just going to work that in and try to get all of that stuff under the bottom. And then I'm actually going to measure so you can see that these recipes really work. A half a cup of white wine. Use the white wine.
Oh, you see, you just had more than a half a cup. Love it.
That was my Graham Kerr moment.
That's right.
Okay, so nice hot heat.
Now, see, this type of thing wouldn't necessarily work on a Teflon
You know, I
pan
don't cook on
because
Teflon.
you can't. Well, a lot of people do, right?
Yeah.
People want their non-stick. I personally stay away from them.
Yeah.
Well,
I
the
don't
thing,
wanna-
it's non-stick, so you're not getting those beautiful caramelization
Right.
on the
Yeah.
bottom, right?
So you must use probably a stainless steel.
steel or copper.
Yeah, stainless steel with a nice heavy base. Like this is a plan actually from Loblaws. It was $20 with a lid.
Yeah.
You know, so really what I'm doing is just taking my wooden spoon and I'm going down and I'm actually getting rid of all of those, incorporating all of those
Yeah.
brown
Smells
bits.
so
Yeah,
good.
doesn't it smell good?
I'll say, what are they
Yes.
called?
What?
The
Fond.
fond, right, yeah.
Okay, now again, I'm using a half a cup of heavy cream. If you want to use something lighter, like a 10% coffee cream, you can, but you can't let it come to a boil because it'll curdle,
Then it
right?
will- oh.
It'll taste okay, it just won't look very
What a
pretty to serve.
science.
It is, you know, and so it's just the fact. But look, this is a half of a cup for
Perfect.
4
For people.
servings. So it's only, what's that, an eighth of a cup
Yeah,
each?
it's not-
And you don't eat like that every day.
No, and this is great for company.
Speak
So
for
really what you
yourself.
want to do is just, and what I want to bring this to is, what stage do I want to bring this to, Christian?
Well, it depends. I don't know. What stage?
What's it, with an N, come on, you know the stage.
Gosh, you can put me on. I can't remember.
Nappe.
Yes. You see, I'm not good with those.
So, Kashi, you remember when nappe
What
is?
is that? No.
Nappe is when you bring the sauce up to. I'm going to
Italian
actually.
or,
I feel like I'm in grade 5 again.
I know.
I just want to make sure you guys have been listening to me. That's all.
Avril Lavigne's from Nappe.
Oh, nappe.
Nappe me.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry.
where it's from. It's from
Avril Lavigne.
nappe. Okay, so Christian, if you could just mound a little bit of this rice in the
I'll
center
just
of each
mound.
one.
Mounding the
And then,
rice
Kasia,
now.
what we're going to do is we're going
Mounding
to
the
cut
rice
the
with
we're going to cut the breasts. They've already.
Oh, baby, mound it there. Okay. How much? Half a cup?
Well, it depends on how hungry you are. Yeah, about a half a cup.
Okay.
I know. I think a portion is probably a third of a cup.
This
but
is how you cut. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good.
I think I could have a sharper knife too. But
It's important that you do have
This
this
is-
big.
yeah,
Look
a
at
nice
that
sharp
rice.
knife, or even a serrated knife would be good. But look at how beautiful that looks on the
It's
inside.
so
That
nice.
shot of
Gorgeous.
red.
How
I'm
impressive
going to do
is
this one here
that?
because that one didn't cut so well.
Oh, what a way to impress, too, I feel.
Yeah, and you don't
is
have to
really-
cut it if you don't want to. This is a restaurant trick, so it looks like you're getting more protein because they fan it out on your plate.
But you did it so quickly,
Okay.
too. We have 1 minute left before we
Okay,
go to a
so
break.
nappe, what I'm going to do is you cook this down, and we're going to cook it down over break, and then we're just going to spoon it over.
Yeah.
And so nappe is when you go like this with your wooden spoon, and you take your hand and you run it through, and it keeps the line.
Okay.
We need a few more minutes with this, so we'll plate
the
when you
break.
come back from the break.
Beautiful.
You guys can eat.
Sounds good.
That sound good? So we'll just keep
Great.
boiling it
All
down.
right. And again, the name of the book is coming out in 2 weeks. What's it called?
The Fridge Whisperer, 50 Fast and Fabulous Family Faves.